Indian cricket captain Virat Kohli won all the 4 tosses against South Africa a couple of years back in a 4 test match series. A few decades back, Indian cricket captain Mansur Pataudi won all the 5 tosses in a 5 test match series against England. Now, if we have to ask a question, what is the chance that Virat Kohli will win all the 4 tosses? That question, my dear students, can be asked only before the first toss is conducted. Similarly, if Mansur Pataudi's winning series of 5 tosses, if we have to discuss the chance of that happening, that has to be discussed before the first toss happens. Welcome to an interesting area in mathematics known as probability. The word that I used earlier is chance. The appropriate word is probability. We are going to look at probability at great depth in this series of video casts. My dear students, probability is an interesting concept in mathematics which has got great application in mathematical modeling and other aspects. And from my experience of teaching 20 plus years, I can tell you one thing very clearly. When this comes to this concept in mathematics, there are only 2 types of students. One, either you like it very much or you're afraid of the concept. Let's ensure that you fall into that category of students who just love probability for the application. Now, before we understand the probability of Virat Kohli winning all the 4 tosses, we need to understand what happens in a toss. We have to build it brick by brick, step by step, and extend it. So, as you know, in the toss, the 2 captains come together in the middle at the pitch and they toss a coin. And when the coin is tossed, Virat Kohli can either call, let's say, heads, as you can see here, or he can call tails. Now, what he calls, if it comes landing correct, then he wins the toss. This is the sign for winning, and this is the sign for losing the toss. Let's assume that Virat Kohli wins the toss because we are concerned about that ghatna or event. Now that he has a adha chance of winning, or we say 50-50, or we say half, or we say 50% probability of winning, because either he can win or lose, both have equal chances or probability. That, my dear students, is what happens in the first toss. Let's move on to the second toss. Here, let's understand, when they toss for the second time in the second test, it is very important to understand that the probability of Virat Kohli winning the second toss has got nothing to do with him winning or losing the previous toss. It is independent of the first toss. So we call these 2 events independent events because one does not depend on the other. Extremely important concept when we are looking at probability. So here again, in the second toss, Virat Kohli has a 50% or half probability of winning. And our favorable event or ghatna is Virat Kohli winning. So he wins with a half probability. Let's move on to the third toss. The same thing happens. Fourth toss, the same thing happens. So therefore, we can say that Virat Kohli's probability of winning each toss is half, and each toss is independent of each other. Now let us try and stitch it together, bring it together. We have looked at 4 tosses, 4 things independently we have looked at. Now let us build it together. Let us address the question, what is the probability of Virat Kohli winning all the 4 tosses in that series? And we are asking this question before the series starts. Let me rephrase the question. Let me ask this question again. What is the probability of Virat Kohli winning all the 4? Which means winning the first toss and the second toss and the third toss and the fourth toss. Take special note of the connecting word that I have used is and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. When we use a connecting term and, connecting events which are independent of each other, like in this case, we just need to multiply the probability. That is half into half into half into half, that is 1 by 16. So therefore, if we were to ask what is the probability of Virat Kohli winning all the 4 tosses, it would be 1 divided by 2 to the power 4 or 1 divided by 16. And that is Virat Kohli's probability of winning all the 4 tosses. Extending the same logic to Mansur Ali Khan Pataudi, his probability of winning all the 5 tosses against England in the 1960s was 1 divided by 2 to the power 5 or 1 divided by 32. That is a very small probability, but still that happened. And that is the mathematical concept of probability explained in simple words so that we can understand what happens inside before we jump into equations and formulae. Be that group of students who understand probability right from the root.